All right, this is part two. We're going to go ahead and put data here in our note. Okay, we're actually going to make this. We're going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to bring this up a little bit. I might add some convenience things at some point where it dynamically comes back up, but this really has no bearing on how it prints. It's just how it's just currently being looked at. Okay, we're going to put a line. So we can come out here, we can grab a horizontal line. As you can see right now, you don't see it being echoed, but you can see it periodically. There you go. You can see it how it pops into the screen there. So that means that the program is actually showing it to you. Okay. So we're going to pop it. We're going to put it on the top of the cue box, and then if you come over here at the bottom, you can see the horizontal line, and then you can click on other cue. You can click on other assets. Sometimes these things you can have a lot of data in here. And it can just get kludgy to click on things, right? Because you might have things on top of each other. But you can always come in here and select on things, and then you can just, as in any program, you can tab out. Then you can tab through your values here, and at some point you'll tab into this box, which will turn dark gray, and then you can just use your arrow keys up and down to move things. Okay, if you get to a place where you have so much stuff that you get lost. So we're going to come here, and I'm just looking at another supervisor's cue box right now. Cue sheets, and I'm just sort of replicating something he's done. We're going to come here and we're going to take what I call the consolidated line number. This is any prefix information, any character prefix, your line number, and any alt information you might have for that cue. And we're going to put it here. Okay. So again, we know since we can see it, since we can see it echo on the page, we know that it's print safe. Okay. Since this will not, I try to make these pretty robust looking, like they'll probably be when you actually use them. So this is a pretty big string, so it's not likely to get any bigger. But we'll just go ahead and make it size string to fit. And then as we pull this out, we can see our font size over here change. And we'll just leave this at 12. Okay, let me see if I can get that in there right. There you go. Okay. We'll move that up a little bit. Okay, so that right there is our cue number. Okay. Then we want our time in feet and frames. And then we want our timeout feet and frames. And then we can just eyeball this here, overlap them, and then just bring it down. Okay. So again, I just make the values super big so you can see how they'll definitely probably play out here. These are all default to center. I'm finding myself changing them to left quite a bit, so I might make a hotkey or something like that for that. Okay, so there you go. So there's your time in and out. And now, looking at the sheets I have here, I'm making the guess that there's two ways you can print out the line that you want to replace. You can either, if you happen to use a lot of underlines, you like to change your font up in your text or whatnot. I have a thing called here line to replace style, and this is basically will give you a representation of your text as you originally made it up. Okay, as you formatted it. This other feature here, line to replace unstyled, basically will allow you to set the actual font and how you want the text to be displayed, the color and whatnot. It won't preserve any of the styled attributes you gave it in the program. You can use this for any reasons. I mean, if you want to make shortened sheets or whatnot, but just be aware that there is a difference. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the styled feature, and we're just going to bring this out to about here. Now, here's the thing about this. Okay, don't put anything below your text boxes, because these text boxes will dynamically resize to fit how long your text is. Okay, so if you have a big text box, if you have a lot of text in there, you need to be able to rescale your cues. So don't put anything below this, otherwise don't put inside the cue box. Don't put anything below your styled your line to replace, because the line to replace needs somewhere to go. It needs to grow if it gets any bigger than what you've. If it needs to get any bigger, it needs to grow down. So anything below it will get overwritten, and you don't want that. Looking over here, I can see that the supervisor here wanted to put the reason as to why they wanted to replace something. Okay. So we're going to put this. This is again the Terminator movie. So let's just imagine this is the scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger confronts Bill Paxton and his friends and walks up naked and says, "Give me your clothes." Okay. So we're going to put this up here, and we're just going to assume it's poor pronunciation, even though you would probably never put that on your ADR sheets, right? So you can see when I resize this, right, how it sort of looks funky, all right, how it doesn't quite catch up and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the string size to fit, and I might use the ellipsis if I decide that the reason could actually go longer than what I need it to go. All right, and then I'll turn off the bounding box. We don't really like bounding boxes, do we? Okay, I'll turn that off there. Okay. If we actually want the font to get smaller, we can just put this up. Okay. We can just drag that up. So that being done, we also have another thing here, the director's note. Okay. So again, it depends on how you space everything. Oops. Reselect that. And we'll make that left. And we can see that it's falling off the page. We'll do that. We'll just size this up. And we can see the size on that is 9. The size on that is 9.9. So let's just trim that up a little bit. There we go. And then we have the ellipsis on that too. So if it gets too long, it'll just spill over, but you'll have the idea of what you're looking for. And if you wanted to put like a little line between the two, just to sort of differentiate it, we'll do that, even though that's not what the original supervisor did. Okay, and you can also change your line width. So we'll just set this to super thin, angel hair thin, okay? All right. And then if you hide the pre-cue and the take, you can see that you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on a sheet. Now what we're going to do here, just to show you how this works, I'm going to put those back up. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to grab these two assets and bring them down. And then I'm actually going to bring our margin line down a little bit. Give us a little bit more headroom in the top. And I'm going to scroll that down so that it sits right underneath the margin line. Okay? Because what I wanted to do here is I wanted to, I'm going to move those up a little bit. I actually want to put some stuff above in the paper space so we know what we're looking at here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn over to another video here real quick.